Welcome back to another episode of the Even Your Dynasty Show. We are doing our minor league update. We're doing the update for the games that were played between April 8th and April 14th last week. As always, we're going to go ahead and start with the AAA club, the Sacramento River Cats. We actually had a good week almost for almost all of the clubs, the minor league teams. They all played pretty well, which was a good sign. But River Cats went 5-1 versus El Paso. They're now 10-5 on the season. They lost the first game on Tuesday and then won the next 5. So good to see them actually doing well. I kind of talked about it on one of the previous episodes where while it doesn't really necessarily matter the team's records, it'd be nice to see the AAA team to actually have a winning record this season and be a good club because it means that they actually have some decent talent in AAA. So they're playing well so far to start the year, but leading off with their number one prospect at this point, Marco Luciano. This is after Kyle Harrison graduated off of the list prior to last week. But Luciano, he's starting to slow down slightly, but he still had a really good week. Went 5 for 19, all singles, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. And I believe he actually played clean shortstop for the week. He didn't make any errors. So, good week overall, though. I mean, anytime you reach base out of 9 out of, he had a sacrifice in there, but anytime you reach base in 9 out of 24 plate appearances, I mean, that's still a quality week. He's still posting a pretty high on base percentage in that period of time. Next step for him really is going to just be showing some more power. The strikeouts, he's keeping them to a reasonable range. I think he's at 27.6% now. I've said I would like to see him get that down around 25, but it is an improvement over last season where he was pretty much over 30% at every level. I think he was at 29.8 at AA, and then he was in the low 30s in AAA, and then in the mid to high 30s in his short, major league stint. So it's an improvement, and that's kind of what you want to see out of him is every year he is getting better at that. Now he's also walking at over a 20% rate right now, which is insane. So I don't think that's going to sustain, but I'd like to see a little more power out of him. Honestly, if he had been hitting for power in this early start, you'd probably hear a lot more noise about them trying, considering bringing him up. But until he kind of shows that part of his game a little more, he'll probably, be down there for a little bit because, that's the reality is Nick Ahmed brings a ton of value with his glove. So until you show that you're going to be a huge improvement in the lineup, which I think he'd be an improvement right now. I don't know how much of one, but he would, in my opinion, be an improvement and lengthen the lineup. Until you show like you could be a potential difference maker at the plate, they're probably not going to, drop a guy that's on pace for like a 3-WAR season almost solely off of his glove. So as much as I'd rather watch Luciano than Ahmed, but that's just the reality. But he had a nice week. Their number 2 prospect, not the same story. Carson Wisenhunt, 1 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs, 4 hits, 5 walks, and a home run. It was a grand slam in the second inning that he was blowing up in. He threw 53 pitches, only 22 strikes. Struggled with the command. It was off. And he had 2 strikeouts. My apologies. Struggled with the command. Got lit up. He's had 2 straight bad starts. It is what it is. I have confidence. I'm not losing confidence in him over these. I mean, we watched Harrison have some rough outings in AAA. I mean, almost every pitcher has games like these. We all remember the game Madison Bumgarner played against the Twins where he gave up 8 runs and got 1 out, and it was the pitcher from an American League team. So it happens, these kind of games happen. But I do think he's going to be hard pressed to crack the big league rotation this season. There are too many pitchers on the roster already, as well as guys like Mason Black, who is clearly ahead of Wisenhunt right now. And, it's just going to be hard for him to have a shot to start in the majors. But I think a full year in AAA actually probably would do him good because he's going to get the ability to try and stretch out, throw a good amount of innings. This isn't a guy that's thrown a ton of innings. He dealt with the elbow injury last season that cut his season short. So seeing that would be a positive. And, the Giants aren't limiting these guys to as few of pitches as they did last season. I do appreciate that, because last season, I remember at the very beginning, they were holding a lot of these guys to about 40 pitches, and they'd only go 1 or 2 innings. And it seems like they're letting these guys throw a little bit more than that and get into the 60 to 80 range, 60 to 75 pitches. So that is a positive. Now, he got lit up, so they pulled him early, but they are letting these guys go a little bit. Number 7 prospect, Mason Black. He had an excellent outing. 5 innings pitched of no hit ball, had 2 walks and 7 strikeouts, 0 earned runs. He's thrown 3 starts. He's had one kind of rough start where the defense did let him down a little bit in Reno, but he did get hit around. And Reno is a really tough place to pitch. You're talking about almost, what is it, like 4,000 or 5,000 feet elevation. So it's a tough place to pitch. But his other 2 starts, the 2 that have been in Sacramento, he's been excellent. He's, 5 innings pitched, no earned in both of those games. 68 pitches, 43 for strikes. He's a strike thrower. He's around the zone. He's a guy that I've said, and I will continue to say, and I truly believe if there was a spot for him in San Francisco, he'd be really successful. Keeps the ball on the ground a lot. And with the defense that they currently have behind him, like he could have a ton of success there. He's kind of like a matter of time guy. I think at some point this season, they'll probably end up needing him for a start or 2 or to fill in here and there. Maybe not, but it tends to, you end up a lot of times having to go through quite a few pitchers. So I do think he'll maybe get a shot this season, but if not, I think he's a really high, big candidate to be in the rotation next season. But he's off to a really good start. Their number 17 prospect, Carson Seymour, 4 innings pitched, 2 earns, 4 hits, 2 walks. He gave up a home run and 2 strikeouts, 65 pitches, 36 strikes. Another guy, he kind of struggled to find the zone a little bit, but he battles. This is 2 starts out of his first 3 where he's gone 4 innings, 2 earned, and then you looked at the line and you think you watch the game and you think this could have been a lot worse than it was. So kind of has that grinder mentality out there, and he, got the job done at least. Would have liked to see a little more efficiency, but that's, that really isn't bad. 65 pitches in 4 innings. It's really not bad at all. Number 22 prospect, RJ Dabovich, went on the 7-day IL. He did not pitch this week. I couldn't find anything as far as what happened, but I did see that they put him on the IL. Number 29 prospect, Randy Rodriguez, entered into 2 games, 2 innings pitched, had a save, gave up 1 hit, no walks, no strikeouts. So 2 pretty clean innings. He did really well. A guy to monitor. He very well might find his way into the bullpen this season at some point. So we'll keep an eye on that. Luis, now we're to the guys that are just the guys I like to talk about every week that I think could help the big league roster at some point this season. So we're keeping an eye on them, former prospects. Starting with Luis Matos. He's kind of in a little bit of a funk, but some positives, and we'll go over that. But he went 4 for 18 with a double, 2 walks, got hit by 2 pitches, had 2 straight games where he led off the game getting hit by a pitch. And luckily, neither seemed to be, really terrible. One kind of glanced off his knee. One was, I think, one of them, I think, hit his left hand, but it was kind of more of a glancing blow. So he stayed in both games. He played. Whether they impacted him or not, I couldn't tell you, but he looked fine afterward. But he got hit by 2 pitches, 3 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's a little bit of a funk offensively, but he is still putting the ball in play. He's still hitting the ball pretty hard at times, but a lot on the ground. He's not hitting as many line drives as I've seen him hit in the past. I think he's like trying to hit the ball either out of the park or do damage, because that's the reputation he got. Was they want him to put on the muscle and do more damage. And to me, I'd like to see more line drives, because he's got that added strength where now those line drives could find the gap and split the outfielders and get more doubles and triples. So we'll see. I have confidence that he'll turn it around, though, because he's not striking out. He's still putting the ball in play, still hitting the ball hard. He's harder than last season. So we'll see kind of what happens there. But he's kind of in a funk. Next guy on the list, complete opposite, Elliot Ramos. For any of you that watched my previous episode, I actually, as much as I want Luis Matos to come up and play every day in right field and just give him a big long runway and let him start every day, I think Ramos actually makes the most sense if they were going to call someone up right now. Because listen, I'm realistic. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the Giants are gonna go out and dump Mike Yastrzemski and Austin Slater, like both of them. Like it's not gonna happen. As much as I want the Giants to dump Slater and then kick Yaz into a fourth outfielder role, like they're gonna give him his run. They're gonna give them their time. But I will say this. They're kind of running out of excuses to not make the Ramos for Slater switch, at least, because frankly, you can't possibly get less production than you've gotten out of Austin Slater so far, and it's just such a minimal risk move where if Ramos comes up and stinks, it doesn't matter. Like Slater wasn't doing anything for you anyway, and Slater didn't really have a future on this team anyway. So, and I know there's gonna be a ton of people. I can see it now that are gonna come in here and go, "Well, Slater was great against lefties for years," and you know what? I live in the land of what have you done for me lately? And right now, Slater's a guy coming off an elbow injury, and he has not been productive. And he took a massive step back in 2023, and this season he's just still on that downward trend. So I don't have faith that he's going to turn into a great lefty killer again. I mean, for God's sake, the guy got to face a right-handed position player and he couldn't even hit him. And the only joke I could think of was, well, maybe if the position player threw left-handed, he might have gotten a hit. I mean, he is in some kind of deep funk. So I'd like to see Ramos get a shot. I think you could bring him up, put him in kind of even in a platoon role, which I don't like, but at least it would get him up on the roster and give him a couple months and see if he can play his way into a bigger role, or at least show something that you feel confident in him as a fourth outfielder next season. I mean, he's on his last minor league option year. You have to figure this out. Otherwise, you're going to be in the Bart situation again, as I said before. But Elliot Ramos, 8 for 16 with a home run. That was 107.7 miles per hour exit velo, a triple, 3 doubles, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. It's almost every game you watch, and like every game that I've tuned into, and I try and catch almost every River Cats game as long as it's not on right at the same time as the Giants. And even then, sometimes I have like Giants on the TV and them on the iPad, the River Cats on the iPad or something, and I'm trying to keep an eye on these guys and watch how they're playing. But every game, Ramos hits a ball that just looks like a missile off the bat, and it's regular that you see him hit 108, 109, 110 plus, 105. He'll hit 105 mile an hour single on the left field or center field. It just every game he's hitting he's hitting the cover off the ball right now. And you watch the Giants, it's like we could use something like that. We could use a guy that's hitting the ball hard, and you could look at every single metric for Elliot Ramos, and every single one paints a positive picture, and it makes you really wonder what more Farhan Zaidi wants to see. Like I get he's no longer the greatest the athlete you hoped he would be, and he's not a big stolen base guy, but I watch him out there and he's comfortable in the outfield. He has plenty of range for a left fielder or a right fielder. He has enough range to play the position competently. And every metric is positive right now. He's striking out at a 25.4% rate. That's solid. His ISO 365, his WRC plus 173. He's gotten 1186 OPS right now. I'm sorry. I was looking at the weighted on base. He has an 1136 OPS right now. He's got 11 extra base hits in only 13 games played. And he's walking at the only thing that you could look at that he's doing less than he was last season is his walk rate, which is at 8.5%, which is respectable. But, who cares if he's walking at a lower rate when he's doing damage with the balls he's putting in play? And that's what matters. And his exit velocities are 93+%. I talked about it the other day. It would be 23rd in the majors, his current exit velocity. His batted ball metrics, he's hitting the ball. He's line drive percentage, 35.1%. His ground ball percentage, which has been the biggest complaint about him, 35.1%. Fly ball percentage, 29.7%. and his home run to fly ball rate right now, it's like 36.4%, which is huge. But I mean, every metric. So I just, like I said, begs the question, what does Farhan Zaidi really need to see out of this guy before he actually gives him a real chance? And I mean like a 2 or 3 month, he's playing, he's getting 3 or 4 starts a week at least. You're just getting regular playing time week in and week out for several months. And let's see what he can do. But I will get off my soapbox on Elliot Ramos and we'll move on because this isn't really an episode about the Giants, big league team. It's about the guys in the minors. So Brett Wisely, 4 for 15, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. He actually had a game where he had 4 walks in the game, didn't actually have a register and at bat that game. But he gets on base. He's having a good season so far. Casey Schmidt, this was the one that I really enjoyed watching last week and enjoyed seeing. 10 for 25, 3 home runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. The home runs were 103.8 miles per hour, 104.3, and 105 miles per hour off the bat. One of the first of which actually, and I will be showing them all, the first of which had one of my favorite reactions, just the look of relief on his face when he hit that ball, where it was like, thank God I finally got one. Because as you guys watched last week and the previous week, he's been in a funk. And even now, after this huge week, his OPS is still like in the mid 6s. So he's not, fully recovered his stats yet, but he's been in a funk. It felt good for him. And it's good to see because he's not striking out a ton. Like his strikeout percentage is about what it's been. The walk rates, you can tell he's trying to be patient. He's trying to do the right things. And he just was in a funk offensively. So hopefully he's coming out of it because he's got potential. The power is there. The bat to ball skills are there. It's an approach issue with him. It's what it's been. It's what it's always been with him. And we'll see if he can continue to improve that. But it was really good to see. And the reaction's hilarious. I'll be putting that on here. Juan Sanchez got into 2 games, 4 innings pitched. He pitched 2 innings in both games, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, no hits, 4 strikeouts. Another guy to monitor that may get an opportunity in this season to pitch out of the pen, and I think could be a useful piece out of the pen. Now moving on to the Richmond Flying Squirrels, or AA squad. They went 3-3 versus Akron. They're now 4-5 on the season. They were the one team that didn't have a winning record this week. Starting off with their number 6 prospect, Hayden Birdsong, 4 innings pitched, 2 earned. Now, actually, sorry, he pitched 2 starts. He had 2 solid starts. First start, 4 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, gave up a home run, a walk, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. The second start, 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run, a home run, 2 walks, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. So first start, he had 64 pitches, 42 for strikes. Second start, 73 and 44 for strikes. So he does struggle a little bit with his command. That'll be something to keep an eye on. But he's a guy that I think is going to make a push to get to AAA this season. And he's you look at the Giants system, they have some really, really high quality arms near the top of their system. And now I'm not necessarily advocating for, go trade a bunch of them to make a big move, but they're going to have the ability, I think, especially if these guys continue to throw the ball well, they'll have some very enticing pieces for other teams because you can never have enough pitching. And there are teams that are going to look at the Giants system and see a ton of high-end guys with high-end potential in the starting rotation that they would probably be interested. I think Birdsong's going to make a push to be a top 100 prospect. You watch his stuff. He's got a mid to high 90s fastball. It's touched 98. His splitter and curveball are both nasty. Just if he throws strikes, he's going to be really good. And he's got a ton of potential. So just something to keep in mind. But now moving off them, number 13 prospect, Grant McCray. He didn't have a great week, but he did finish it off with a really nice game on Sunday. Overall, he went 3 for 16 with a home run, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's always been a patient hitter, draws a ton of walks. He's got pop, speed, but he's got a lot of swing and miss. The last game of this series, though, he did go 2 for 4 with a walk and a homer. So hopefully he gets going. You watch his stats last season, his month-by-month splits, and would do really well one month, horrible the next month, and he's super inconsistent performer. So we'll see how he does. Von Brown, number 15 prospect, had a terrible week. Not a lot to note other than he went 1 for 16 with 11 strikeouts. So not a good sign. Hope he gets going. He's got a lot of tools, but he's kind of struggled. Their number 20 prospect, Victor Barracoto, 5 for 21, home run, 2 doubles, 9 strikeouts. So the strikeouts were up. He hit a big home run that went into the parking lot. They weren't sure if it was going to stay fair with the wind. And then one of the doubles, Richmond actually had a walk-off where Barracoto hit a double to set up the winning hit by, I think it was Will Wilson in that game. But his double put him in scoring position for that go-ahead run. Hunter Bishop went 5 for 21, double, walk, 6 strikeouts, and a stolen base. The stolen base came off a pickle that he made a kind of sweet move to get to second. Just kind of, he's a guy that I don't think many have high expectations for, but as I've said, I'm rooting for him. He's dealt with a lot, so just want to keep people updated. And then just kind of a side note, their number 8 prospect, Reggie Crawford, nothing official has gone out there, but there was a picture of him in the clubhouse in Richmond in the uniform. It looks like he's going to be joining the team soon. He's a guy that might move fast. We'll see what kind of role they put him in. I don't know if they're going to try and stretch him out this season or if he may end up being a guy they just try and fast track and get up in the pen. I do think he has potential to be a dominant closer, but it's not ideal for a guy that you drafted in the first round. But the reality is, look around at guys in the first round. A lot of these guys just don't even stick as major leaguers. And if he ends up being a really good closer, it's still a successful pick, as much as it's not ideal. So now moving on to their high A club, the Eugene Emeralds. They went 6-0 at Everett this week. They are now 8-1 on the season. I swear every year you look at their high A team, the Eugene Emeralds, and they are always one of the best teams in that Northwest League. Now there's only 6 teams, but they always seem to do really well. Only 2 big prospects there right now, and both of them are really fun to watch. At number 18, you have Diego Velasquez. Went 6 for 20, 2 doubles, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a stolen base. Kid could hit. Not a huge, not a ton of pop. Only hit 8 home runs in the California League last season in A-ball, but he can hit. And if you can hit, especially as a second baseman, like you've got a place on the team. He's a solid defender, so he's doing well. And then O'Neal Perez, their number 25 prospect. He's listed as a catcher. He's been kind of a catcher DH. Last season he committed like 24 pass balls or something like that in only 60 something games. I don't think he's going to stick there, especially if you're letting that many by you, and especially with a guy like Patrick Bailey. But you talk about a guy that just rakes. Like all he does is hit. And if you can hit, like they're going to find a position for you. He went 5 for 12, 2 doubles, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And as a catcher, and you look at him, he's not like the leanest guy around, had 3 stolen bases. So it'll be kind of fascinating to see what they do with him kind of going forward. I don't know where his future is defensively, but like I said, if you can hit, they'll find a spot for you. So keep it up, O'Neal, and we'll see what happens there. Now moving over to San Jose, they went 4-1 at Visalia. One of the games got rained out kind of twice. They moved it, and then it got canceled the following day due to wet conditions. The field doesn't drain as well in some of these minor league complexes. But they went 4-1. They're now 4-4 on the season. So positive, then also kind of disappointing. Bryce Eldridge, their number 3 prospect, short week because he unfortunately left a game due to an injury. 2 for 6, 2 doubles, and 2 strikeouts. On April 10th, he left the game after his first at bat, ripped a double, and they said he left with a lower body injury. I have not been able to find exactly what it is. There's some rumors it was a hamstring. We'll see what it is. If anything comes out. Unfortunately, the reality with minor league systems and players is you don't always hear in any kind of timely manner what the injuries were and why someone's not playing. But he did not play after that. I did look. They have not put him on the IL. So hopefully it's just like a minor strain or something, and he'll be back this week. But he has not played since April 10th. Number 9 prospect, Maui Ahuna, did not have a great week. 3 for 17, a double, a walk, 8 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. Still played solid defense. Their number 10 prospect, Joe Whitman, nice bounce back from his first start where he was pretty wild. 4 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. He's got really good stuff. I think he's going to move quick this season. I could see him reaching double A. 70 pitches, 41 for strikes. So a little better, not as efficient as you'd like, but he's got really good stuff, and I think he's gonna move pretty quick. He was in, college arm. He'll be in high A, I think, really fast, and then we'll see if he can even get to double A by the end of the season. I think he's gonna be on kind of the Hayden Birdsong and Carson Wisenhunt trajectory, where he may move pretty quickly up the first couple levels. Their number 26 prospect, Cole Foster, 5 for 14, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. He's off to an excellent start. Another college guy. He'll probably be in high A before too long as well. He's already showing he's pretty good for A ball. So I think expect him to move quick. And then the last prospect, who kind of gives me major Wade Meckler vibes. I mean, hopefully not defensively, but at least in the box. Their number 30 prospect, Jonah Cox, the guy they acquired for Ross Stripling. 4 for 14, a double, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 5 stolen bases. He just hits. I mean, he's done it now since the season started. He was a 6th round pick last season. I think he's going to move quick. He'll be in high A, I think, probably by May, So a couple other notes. Don't expect to really hear anything. I haven't heard anything really about Walker Martin or Rainer Arias. They're both kind of listed as in rookie ball. I'd expect both to be on the complex league teams when they start their seasons up in the beginning of May. I was hopeful that at least Martin, they might get into San Jose, and they might just be waiting until they decide to make a move with whether it's Ahuna, Cole Foster, some of these guys, and clearing middle infield work for them, because those guys are currently playing shortstop pretty much every day, and shortstop, third and second and everything. So they might just be waiting to clear a spot for him. And but hopefully, we'll hear something about them. I think Arias, they're going to start in ACL. He never, he's only played in the Dominican Summer League. He's just about, he turned 18 recently. So I think they're going to at least start him there. He'll get to A-ball this season, and we'll see how he does from there. I was hoping for more aggression on that front, but you can't always get what you want. So that's all I have for the minor league teams. I'm going to put out some videos for Big League Club here in the next day or two. We're going to see how they do today, watch the Jordan Hicks start. I really wanted to do a Jordan Hicks video, got sidetracked with the frustration of the the offense, and it was Masters week last week, so wanted to catch a lot of that, so I didn't get the other video out. I will hopefully, if Hicks has another dominant start, we're going to definitely dive in on that and talk about that and kind of see how they finish this Miami series. At least they, under no circumstances, can leave Miami having not won 2 of 3. Otherwise, we're probably in some trouble record-wise, but a sweep would be nice, not to be greedy, but schedule kind of toughens up again. They got a series against Arizona after this, so it'd be nice to carry some momentum from Miami into that. But big win yesterday. Hopefully they can keep the ball rolling here. And other than that, if you guys like the video and like the content, as always, please like it, subscribe to the channel. Give me your guys' thoughts. If there's any players, like, I'm keeping it mostly to the top 30 guys, plus guys that, kind of, I feel like could impact the team later on. If there's any players you guys want my thoughts on, please put them in the comments. I try and watch a good amount of the minor league games, and I go back and rewatch some of the stuff. So let me know if there's any players you want me to touch on, especially for next week and kind of going forward, because I'm happy to tell you guys what I'm seeing and what my thoughts are. But other than that, as always, go Giants. I appreciate all the support from you guys, and we will catch you next time.